So I answered a few questions in office hours. Anybody else have questions from homework stuff or anything? Do you guys remember what's happening tomorrow?
Nothing specific, but on this homework I turned in, your only note was that I did it wrong, even though I got the right answer. I did it the way that the book told me to.
All right, give me a minute. Which
Or
homework
at
are we
least I
talking
think
about?
I did.
Which homework are we talking about?
2.4.
2.4. Okay. Yeah. All right. We might want to talk after. The work makes, yeah. So number 1 and number 2, there's no answer. Right. I just see stuff. I don't see an answer. Same with number 3. Yeah, well, it just doesn't make sense, Ian. I'm sorry. There's a lot of, so sometimes there's no answer. Other times I don't see why you're doing what you're doing. And let's see, sometimes the answer is just not correct. So yeah, yeah. And then like on page 207, you didn't show work in a couple places. So yeah, I mean,
Do you want me to draw the graph?
You have to show me what it is you're doing and why. So I see things happening, but I don't understand why they're doing it. In number 1, 2, and 3, there's no answer.
I thought page 207 is interpreting data on a graph.
All right, let me pull up the book here. Well, page 207, I don't care about. Page 207, there was a couple of things that you didn't show work for. So number 2, B, and C, you just put numbers that came from nowhere. Number 3C, you put a number that came from nowhere. So you got to show me what work you did to get those numbers. Yeah. So what I'm talking about is page 205. Right. Number 1, 2, and 3, you don't have an answer. And then, yeah, I mean, it's just, I really do not understand your work. So that, I mean, you could talk to me during office hours about it. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you did it the way the book told you to, then 1, 2, and 3, you never got to an answer. So that's it.
Well, give me a minute.
All right, I'm going to move on. Anybody else have questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
The quiz, is it going to work the same way as last time with
Yes.
the time frame?
Yeah. And what's the quiz on tomorrow? What sections?
2, 3 to 2, 6.
Yes, good. All right, thank you. All right. So anything else from homework stuff? If it's
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
About the 2.6. It's page 240, number 9.
Okay.
And you know, I'm looking at it, I'm seeing like I'm multiplying the 0.3 milligram with the pounds of 175 pounds, because it's saying like per pounds, it's like 0.3 milligrams. But I'm not sure like how to do it to get like, is it like in the 5%, within 5% or not? I'm not getting that.
Oh, so, all right. So it's 0.3 milligrams per pound. So you're right. The very first thing you've got to do is to see how much should a 175-pound patient get.
Yeah.
Then
and I did it, but I'm stuck at that point. I don't know what to do else.
then you see how far away that amount is from 50 milligrams.
It's so close, like it's almost
But it's
like,
going to be relative difference, right?
okay,
So
yeah,
then you can compare it to see if it's within 5%.
the different.
Yes. So that's exactly what this whole thing is all about, is relative difference, relative error, relative change. So the first part of this problem just deals with the 0.3 milligrams per pound and 175 pounds. Then you can see how many milligrams this person is supposed to get. So
Yes.
let's pretend, I'm not going to do this problem, but let's pretend that you get, if you do that work and you get, let's just make something up, you get 47 milligrams.
Okay.
Just pretend. So you have 0.3 milligrams per pound, 175 pounds, you do the work and you get this. Well, how
Yes.
far off is that from 50?
Yeah, like 3
3
milligrams.
So it'd be 50 minus 47, and you want to be of the recommendation. So that would be the recommendation. So divided by 47.
Okay.
And then you can compare that to see, is it within 5%? If now this would come out to be 6 point something percent, whatever. I don't know.
Yes.
That would be too far off, right?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So whatever number you actually get, it's
I
not going to
got
be whatever number you actually get here. You got to do in here to see how far off it is relative.
That's what I didn't like know, like there's, the relative change, and
Yes.
I thought it's different kind of question. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No, it's the
That's
same kind. It's just
Thank you.
worded differently, but this is the way you would see it with medication. Within so
Oh.
much, whatever it's called, a tolerance, right? That's what's called the tolerance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Is that all right with everybody else? You guys all right? Any other questions from homework stuff? So this was section, where am I at? 2.6. All right. So this is the last section that'll be on the quiz. Real quick thing about the estimation section. I'm seeing a few too many people, which is not like a ton of people, but a few too many, who seem to think that estimation means do the problem and then round the answer. That is not at all what estimation means. This is the estimation section of 2.5 is. Right, are you guys? So for example, I wouldn't do 4 times 89 plus 379 plus, and then round my answer and say, well, that's estimating. No, estimating is rounding first, right? So most of you guys are doing it correctly. Some of you guys are forgetting, and I think I pointed this out yesterday. So maybe I've graded some more stuff and you guys turned it in before I said this, but just pay attention. There's 4 of these, right? So if you estimate this to be $1, that's a total of $4 because there's 4 boxes. Is that cool? All right, so be really careful when they say 4 boxes, 2 pounds. That happens in a few different places. I like it. Anything else from homework stuff? Okay. All right, I'm hoping that's good. I'm an optimistic fool, so I'm hoping that means all the homework is going great. So what I want to do today, it's sort of, I'm not going to actually do a lot today. We're going to find out. I kind of want to let you guys, oh, here's the chat now. Oh, yeah, well, dude, that makes sense. We haven't talked about it yet. That's what we're leading into, where I'm going to get some data to get into section 2.7. I want to do something that I kind of wish I had done earlier this semester, but there's too much happening at the beginning. So what you need to do, let me show you what you need to be able to do. Let me get back to this. There we go. Okay. Where are you guys at? There you guys. All right. So if you go to Canvas, go to modules, and then there's a new module down here, unit 0, unit 1, unit 2. And then there's something that's got the intriguing name of human bingo. Right, this is not the next horror movie, Human Bingo. No, this is something we're going to try to do today. So some of you guys were here earlier, and I said to go here and print it out if you can. You don't have to print it out. You have to be able to see it while you're talking to other people. All right. Is anybody not able to access this while they're on Zoom? Is anybody not able to access this while you are on Zoom? Is anyone in that situation? Let me know now. Here's the chat. Oh, come on, chat. There you go. Okay, let me see. Lauren, there you are. So, all right. So let's do this. Let me see what's going to make this work the best. Lauren, can you get a piece of paper and just real quick write down these? Make a big table and write these down. Let me leave this up here for you. As you do that, oh, here comes somebody else. All right, I'll give you a few. In the meantime, what will the rest of us do? Well, are you certain there's no other homework questions for one? We did talk a little bit of the review section yesterday, kind of as a prep for the quiz tomorrow. What else did I want to ask you guys about? I don't remember. All right, there was something else. I don't remember. I need to, so currently if you go to grades in Canvas, you'll see an average grade, and that average grade is actually pretty well correct because it's just taking your quiz average. The homework grade, I don't really calculate until the end of the semester anyway. Because, and it kind of makes sense, because when are homework corrections due?
At the end of the semester.
End of the semester, I love it. By the day of the final, I love it. So don't incorporate a homework grade until the end anyway. And just to remind you guys, if you're curious, if you're, I'm going to scroll down here for Lauren. I think you might hopefully have the first row. Okay. The way that homework works is if you're getting, if I keep saying correct and you don't make corrections, then you have half credit for that. So if you get that on every single homework assignment, your homework grade will be 50% because you got half credit on everything, right? If you do make corrections and get enough correct, then you back up to 100%. Okay, so people often want their complete grade, and I can't do that till the end. All right. I might get into the grades and put, I might add a couple columns that say what your average would be now with no homework, what your average would be now with all the homework. So you kind of have a range of what your real average is currently based on how much homework you've done. I like it. I like it. How many of you guys, did I mention to you guys the links for tutoring? There's some extra links for tutoring now in Canvas. Did you guys notice that? Anybody? Has anybody ever been to the Mass Study Center? Ever? Back in the days when we could actually go into classrooms on campus in the before times. Okay, all right. So the Mass Study Center was a place with math tutors that was free and that had very little chance of dying, which is not similar to Craigslist, right? For example, if you want to get a tutor, much less chance. And now it's even less chance because it's going to be online. Oh, Lauren's all done. So let me show you this real quick. Right here, you can make an appointment for tutoring, and you can also just drop in for tutoring. If you click on that, there's a link. They made a little video that shows exactly how it's going to work. There's the link to go into tutoring. So what happens is if you click this link, you go into the main room on Zoom, and then there's a little form to fill out, and you tell them what class you need help with, and then they put you into the right room for a tutor for this course. Is everybody with me? Which is sort of like what it used to work. You would go into the Math Study Center, you would sit down, and then you can get help from people that's able to tutor the course you're in. So we kind of recreated that on Zoom. Anyway, so that's more help you can get. Also, I've got my office hours there, right? My extra office hours. And yeah, so it's really, if none of this works for you, you can email me and say, is there any other times I can meet with you? If you don't do any of those things and you're wondering why you're not doing very well, well, that's the first thing I would think of is, why the hell am I not taking advantage of any of that? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I like it. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna stop sharing. So what's gonna happen is this. I'm gonna make breakout rooms. Let me actually go over this human bingo thing with you real quick. There it is. Just to make sure we all know what the hell is gonna happen. Bam. So when you go into the breakout room, you might have met people before when you were in breakout rooms before, but I haven't really done enough breakout rooms, I don't think. I want you guys to get a little more time to talk to each other. You're gonna see, like, for example, I actually am a morning person, believe it or not. So then if I was in a breakout room, you could put my name right there. And now I can't help you with anything else. You can only use a person once. Is everybody with me? So if you use me here, you cannot also use me because of the fact that what else am I? I'm not left-handed. I've seen a Broadway musical there. You couldn't use me here. Too bad. Is everybody with me? So I'm going to make little groups of like 3, I think, roughly. So you're going to try to see how many people in your little group, and then I'm going to switch everybody up. I'm going to create different groups. So you're going to be with different people. Possibly there's a random chance you'll end up with the same people, which is too bad. You know, you just have to hang out for a while until I create a new group. Is everybody with me? Because it's all based on random algorithm, and there's a probability that you get the same people. Like, shit. Then you just sit there and wait. Too bad. Okay, and I'm going to be curious about who gets most of these squares filled in. All right, does everybody understand how this works? Anybody not understand how this is going to work?
So we're gonna ask questions for each other about
You
these.
are going to, when you go into a room, I'm going to let you figure out how to see whose name you could put where. So you're going to be in a little room with 3 people, 2 or 3 people, and you're going to say, well, I'll just want to tell you, I wear contacts. Anybody need that box? Does anybody have children? I want to put your name there. I mean, I can let you guys figure out how to talk to each other to see what's going on here, right? Okay, I think most of you guys get this. This is pretty, I've done it once, and I didn't want to do it because I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but now I kind of trust breakout rooms a little bit more. This is much better in a classroom, obviously, because then people just kind of walk around and talk, but we'll see how this works. So again, hopefully you can access this. I'm going to go ahead and create some breakout rooms. I'm going to try to, because everything's different now. Here we go. Let me see if I can get it to be. Man, somebody just left. Messing up my counts. Dadgummit. All right, let's see what happens. So I'm going to give you a few minutes in this first room, and then I'm going to bring you guys back, and then I'm going to create another room and throw you back in. And hopefully you got some different people. We'll find out. All right, so let's see. And call me in if you need some help for some reason. Here we go. Go. Fly. Let's see if somebody's not really here. Okay, good. That's everybody. Sweet. Why am I frozen? Okay, there I am. I don't have to record now, do I? Let me see. Let me get things started. So was that interesting? Did you guys find out some nifty stuff about people. Did you find somebody had a tattoo? Yes.
Yes. I also noticed that you used math in that question. That it was math, at least one.
Dude, yeah, there you go. I love it. I love it. I got to sneak that in there whenever I can, right? All right. So let's do this. What I want to know, and you guys have to be honest with me. Let's see. What's the easiest way to do this? I'm going to collect this information up on the board, I think. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that everybody had at least a certain number of things filled. So did anyone have, nobody had no boxes filled, right? Let me make sure you guys can see what the hell's going on. Everybody had at least one box filled. Oh, there it is again. Oh shit, let me highlight me because it's all about me. Let me see. There we go. Hey, it's me. So let's see, what's the best way to do this? Oops. Come on, little dude. There we go. So what about, let's maybe, this is easier to do in chat. I have no idea how to collect this information. Anybody have 2 boxes, just 2 boxes? Anybody have just 3 boxes? Sorry? Does somebody have just 2 boxes? Is that what somebody's saying? Okay, there's 2 people that have 3 boxes. Is that right? All right. So that's everybody that had 3 boxes, right? What about 4 boxes? How many people had 4 boxes? Let's see, I got Angeline. Just one person had 4 boxes. You guys are good out there? All right, so that's one person of 4 boxes. Oh, there's 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Oh, Anthony's got 3. Okay, so another 3. I don't think I got you earlier, Anthony. Did I? No. All right. Everybody pay attention. Wait. I love you guys. Now let's do how many had 5 boxes?
Me.
Sorry?
I have 5.
All right, Wasan, so that's 4 people had 5.
I have 5.
Make that 5 with 5.
Say again, sorry.
I think it's about 7 now.
Hold on, I gotta catch up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Wasan said 6. So
No, I
6
said
people.
5.
Say again? Yeah, I mean, you said 5, that makes 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Oh, hold on. Don't get ahead of me now. I love you guys so much. And then Riley has a 5, so that's another 5. All right. So Lauren had 6, anybody else had 6?
Yeah, I have 6, Jeff Linnell.
Well, that's interesting. Both Laurens had 6. And then Linnell, so that's 4 people had 6.
I had 6 as well.
5 people had 6, okay. Anybody had 7 boxes? Dude, all right. Alicia has 7. 8? Anybody have more than 7 boxes filled in? Wait, what's Vu? Vu, what's the hand for? I'm sorry. Did I get your Vu? Did I get you up there? Vu, are you? Uh-oh, your mute keeps going. What's happening?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Yeah, technology, great. Yeah, no, I was raising my hand for to say that I have 5 boxes.
Oh, so I didn't get you up here?
I don't know.
Yeah, all right, we'll pretend. All right. Okay, so that's everybody. It should be. It sounds like that's everybody. Okay, so let's do 2 things here. How would I calculate the average? So one thing I could do for myself, let me see if this makes sense. There's 3 3s, right? And there are 3 4s, right? And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 5s. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6s. And there's a 7. And then I can divide that by 1, 2, 3, let's see, 3, 6, 14, 19, 20. Looks like there's 20 total. All right, so that would find the average, right? That would find the mean. Remember that bad boy? So let's see what the average is. What time I got? Okay, I got time. Is everybody cool with what I just did, right? Just makes it easier to look at. So let's see what we get. We get 9 and 12.
Wait a minute, you said it's 20 total?
Yeah, it looks like it's 20 total, right? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Is everybody cool with what's happening now? 9 plus 12 plus 40 plus 30 plus 7. Is anybody not okay with what I did here? Does everybody see what I did here? Is that all right? This is a nice way to do it if you have a lot of repeats. I got 3 3s, so I'm not going to do 3 plus 3 plus 3. I'm going to just do 3 times 3 and so forth. And let's see, somebody, I don't know if somebody's doing this with me. So we get 77, 89, 90, it looks like 98 divided by 20, is that right? So it looks like I get 4.9. So somebody check me out on that. Make sure that's right. Yeah, looks about right. Thank you, sir. Let me just stop for a minute. Is everybody cool with what just happened? So, right, that's old news. We talked about the mean before. So you can kind of compare yourself. So some of you guys are below average, and that could be because you unfortunately didn't get more new people each time. Maybe you had a repeat person each time. So that's not your fault. I'm not saying, oh, you did bad. I'm just saying, oh, well, it's just the way it worked. And of course, whoever this is like, hello. But there's something more I want to know about this. Like, how below average am I relative to everybody else? So I know, like, if I'm somebody who got a 3, I am 1.9 below, right? Is that cool? That's how far away from the mean. If I got a 3, I am 1.9 below the mean. Is that cool? Obviously, right? Hopefully. But that doesn't really tell me how relatively far away I am. Is that really far away or not? Would you say that these data points, would you say that they are really spread out? Would you say that like really spread out? Sorry.
No, they're really about 4 points away, the lowest and the highest.
Yeah, exactly. So I love what you just said. So that's what the next thing is. There's something called the range, which is always high minus low. That's all the range is. It kind of makes sense. How much does the data range over? So it goes from 3 to 7. So 7 minus 3. So just like you just said, the data just goes over a range of 4. So none of the data points really get very far away from the mean. But it's got to be relative. So for example, since they are really close together, that means that any distance is going to be relatively big. So how do I want to say this? Like if I was looking at 2 atoms, right? They are in something, they are so close together, but all it would take, so relatively, how far away would this atom be? Relatively very far away. So let me see, how else can I say this? If we're all sitting in a classroom, then the person in the corner is relatively far away from the person in the other corner, right? But if we are in different classrooms, then somebody in the next classroom over would be relatively close. Let me say that again. This is not a bad way to say this. If we're all in the same classroom, then the person sitting in the upper right corner is very far away relative to everybody in the classroom, is very far away from the person in the lower left corner, right? They are across from each other. They're probably the furthest you can get away from each other in that situation. If I'm talking about everybody in the whole school, back in the day when we were in classrooms, somebody in the next classroom over is relatively close. Even though if I was talking about just the classroom, that they would be relatively far away if they were even in the same classroom. I have no idea if you guys are following what I'm saying. So let me do this way.
Question, Jeff.
Yes.
You use two different types of language when you explained that. You said in the entire school, and then you said in the classroom.
Exactly.
So is that why it would make them relatively close?
Exactly, because the average distance, if I was talking about the classroom, is much smaller than the average distance between students if I'm talking about the entire college. Does that make sense?
Right. So I was on point, yeah.
The relative distance of any student from any other student should be based on the average distance that all the students are away from each other. Okay, maybe. So let me say it like this. I don't want to lose this data, so I'm going to do this that I haven't really done a lot.
So would it be fair to say, Jeff, that the bigger with the smaller the area? All right.
Hold on. We're working there. Don't worry. You've got the right start, but let me just keep going. So would you say that is 5 very far away from 4 in general?
No.
No.
The correct answer is I don't know. So if my data was this, here's my data now. So one example is, what if my data was this? 4.01, 4.07, 4.19, 4.22, 4.37, 4.41. You don't have to write this down, by the way. Don't write this down. 4.49, 4.815. Are 4 and 5 relatively far apart? Yes.
No.
Does that make sense right there?
So
it's kind of like interest rate.
Now watch, let me compare it. What if my data was this? 4, let me see. How do I want to say this? Let me think.
So question.
Yes.
It's relative to the number of values in the data set?
No, it's relative to the distance between the numbers themselves. So here.
Right, but the distance between 4 and 5 is just 1. So, I mean, 1 is, I don't know how, yeah, okay. I'll let you keep going, sorry.
All right. Let me think.
I think
I've
the
almost
distance between two numbers.
Hold on. Let me think for a second. All right. So let me put it like this. So the average distance between all the numbers here is a certain thing. So let's say I have this. Let me try this. If the average distance between all the data points was 1, then 4 and 5 are very close. They are exactly the average distance apart, right? If the average distance between all the data points was 0.1, So all the data points are 0.1 away from the middle. Would 4 and 5 be very far apart? Yes.
Yes.
All right, so that's what I'm trying to illustrate here. So this idea of average distance is something I need to know so I can tell how relatively far apart things are. So if the average on a test is an 80 and you make a 70, you don't know how relatively far that is. Did you do like okay or did you do really bad? If the average distance from 80 was 2, you did really bad. Does that make sense by itself? If on average, people got their grades were like 2 away from 80 and you got a 70, you did really bad. Let me just let that sink in your brains. If all the data points are roughly about 2 away from 80, so a few got 1 away and a few got 4 away, but very few got very far away, then 70 would be really, really, really far away from 80. In fact, it would be 5 of these away, right? Let me stop for a minute. So same situation, if I got a 70, but the average was an 80, right? So this is the mean. And the average distance was 20 away from this, then that is pretty close. It's only half of this away. All right, let me let that sink in. So again, if the data are all really tight, then any distance is going to mean more. If the data are already spread out, then the distance is going to mean less. So, for example, I'm going to erase all this. If, let me see. If somebody got $100 more than me on something, how upset will I be? It depends on the relative amount of money we're talking about, right? So if I got $10, if somebody got 100 more than me and I got $10, let's say they got $100 more than me for the same job and I got $10, am I angry?
Yeah.
Sorry?
I hope so.
Yeah, probably.
It would make sense somebody would be angry. You're right.
I don't
Bill. That's a
know.
very good point. Each person is different. Whatever makes them angry could be very different. But I'm going to Hulk out. I'm going to really put the shit, right? You with me? Does that make sense?
A question.
Sure.
$100 more, and you saying that you got $10 complete?
I got this. I got this. I got $10, which means the other guy got what?
110.
$110. Let me stop right there. So that is a relatively large distance between those two, right? So what if, again, what if somebody else got $100 more than me and I got $1 million? That means they got what? How are you doing that, you freaky little thing? Get in there. What did they get?
1,100,000.
1,100,000. Are you as upset? I don't know why I put an extra bill. I could actually just go, I don't give a shit. I do not give a shit, because relative to the amounts we're talking about, that difference is small. But here, relative to the amounts we're talking about, that difference is huge. It's sort of like if somebody said, I'll take $10 off the cost of what, Jeff? the cost of your groceries. I'm like, okay, good, cool. If they said, I'll take $10 off the cost of that car, you're like, whoop-de-doo. Yes, maybe. So that's not actually directly related to this. That's more related to the relative difference kind of thing we were doing before. But that is the connection with what I'm trying to talk about. So now instead of just purely looking at numbers, which is what this is, I'm going to look at how close is my data in the first place. If all my data is really close, that means that a certain distance means more. It's sort of like if all my data was 0.1 away, then a distance of 1 is huge, right? So like if I had to walk somewhere, if it was a mile further away than what I thought it was, is that a big deal? Yes. If I had to drive somewhere and it was a mile further, who gives a shit? Well, depending on how much traffic, but let's say no traffic. Does that, you guys with me? Because it's relative to the speed I can go, right? So. What I'm trying to get at is, if I have a set of data, I'm given a set of data. Obviously, calculating the mean is important. But there's another thing I want to calculate with that. I almost always do this. So when I calculate your grades, I also calculate this other thing we're going to talk about right now. And if I don't calculate this other thing, it's almost meaningless. Knowing the average is almost meaningless if I don't calculate this other thing. And what this other thing is, I'm just going to call it this other thing. And that is the spread. It measures the spread of the data. How spread out is the data? On average, how far away from the mean do all my data points get? So if I had a set of data like this, versus a set of data like this, oh, I should have made it worse. Take that away. Let me make it a little more pronounced. Yeah. Versus a set of data like this. What do you got, Jeff? All right, that's a little bit. Anyway, well, let's see what you guys think. I didn't make it as extreme, but oh well, too bad. Which one of these are more spread out? Man, this is just barely. I don't know why I did it so close. But there is one of these that the data is more spread out.
The first one.
The first one. And not just because of the range either. It's because on average, they get a further away from their average than this one does. So it's this idea of spread. And this is what somebody was asking me earlier in the chat. The technical name for this bad boy is the standard deviation. So just to kind of give you a little insight into what I do when I calculate grades, all right, I'm going to take all this away. So for me, if I give a quiz or a test or something, and let's say I get an average of a 76. If the spread, if the standard deviation for a normal good test, the standard deviation would be about 14. What does that mean? That means that on average, the data points are about 14 away from this. Let me let that really sink in. So if I have 76 here, then if I go 14 up and 14 down, I'm going to catch a decent amount of the data. Right? And if I go up another 14 and down another 14, there should be more of the data there, but not a lot. So it's got an average to be 14. So some are closer than 14 and some are further than 14, but the average to be about 14 away. So if I get, if I do a quiz and I get an average of 76, but the standard deviation is 22, what that normally means, unfortunately, is that people were here, but then I had some that made 30 or 20. So if I have this data and I add in a 20 and a 30, won't that make the average distance to all the data points go up a little bit, right? That's normally what this means. It could also mean people made like all the bonus questions right and really just got far away up there, but normally it means it's far away this way, unfortunately. So when I see this, I get a little concerned. I'm like, oh shit. Some people really, really probably bombed that bad boy. Let me stop for a minute. Let me do this. Let me give you an example that's less mathematical. Let me sit down for a minute. Do you guys know about, I'm almost certain you guys know about Rate My Professors, right? I remember the first time I heard about it, I was on the East Coast, and the next day you could tell all the teachers that had gone in and rated themselves. It was kind of pathetic. Anyway, there's another website that tells you the grade distribution for every teacher, because this is actually public domain knowledge. Did anyone know about this website? There's a website you can go to and you can see exactly what grades, the grade distribution for every teacher. You can actually, oh, okay. It's got to be true. It's public domain knowledge. So what this website did is they contact colleges, they get the data that they must be given, and then they put it behind a pay for access. So you have to pay to get it. But to be really honest, you could contact the school directly and they have to give you the information. It's public domain knowledge. But you ready? Here we go. So let's say you looked up 2 professors on Rate My Professors, and they have basically, they're like almost the same person. It's a little creepy. You with me? Everything's the same about them, except, and in fact, they both give the same average. They both give a C average. And by the way, when you get to university or you get to like a 4-year college, what grade is passing? Because normally in community college, it's a C because that's the only thing that'll transfer. But what grade is passing at university or 4-year college? Do you guys know? D.
D.
You can get a D minus, a D minus, a D minus in university or 4-year college, and that's passing. So think about that next time you're driving across a bridge. You know, like, please don't be that D minus student that made this. But don't worry, that doesn't happen that way. But so go with me. So let's pretend like we're at university where a D minus is passing. So one teacher, they both give an average of a C, but one teacher gives 1 letter grade away on average, so like a B to a D. And the other teacher gives 2, so like an A through an F. And that's the only real difference between the 2. Will that help you make a decision? Which teacher would you take if you thought you were going to suck in that class? The B through D or the A through F, if you just thought you were going to suck?
B through D.
Why? Of course, right? Why?
Because you have a better chance of actually passing.
Yeah, it's very unlikely they would give an F. They seem to be a teacher that doesn't want to fail anybody, but then they're the teacher that I've had a couple of these people, they're waiting for some deity to take their class because they do not give A's. They're, oh God, I made a B plus and that was the highest grade. Anyway, sorry. Even if a deity came in and took the class, they would give an A minus. And I'll get over it someday. It's all right. But if you knew you were going to kick that class's ass, like you knew you were going to own that class, you would not take the B through D person, because then you would be like me. You would be like, I kicked that class's ass, but the teacher gave me a B. Damn. I would take the person that actually gives A's. So knowing the average, they both gave out on average a C, was not enough information. I needed to know the spread also. Then I can make a decision, right? So that's what I'm trying to get across is what does the spread, the standard deviation kind of mean? And also, why would we want to know it, right? Okay, maybe. So let's do this. Maybe that data we collected is a little too much. What time is it? Oh, that's plenty of time. I think what I'll do is tomorrow we'll run through how to develop standard deviation. So we'll do an example problem of how to create it. Because right now we don't, how do you calculate the standard deviation given a bunch of data? We're going to do that tomorrow. I think that's seems to be enough for today. So I'm going to officially say class is over. Let me know if you want to, if you have questions, let me know if you need to hang out for a bit.
Okay, on the quiz, Jeff, we're gonna do the same as last time. We get till tomorrow to do it or whatever.
And you get a certain amount of time to do it.
Right. Right.
Tomorrow, it'll open after class tomorrow, so you can ask questions on homework from those sections in class tomorrow if you want to. Yeah.
It'll open. What are you talking about?
I mean, it'll become active. It's not, you can't access it until after class tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah. Just like last time. So as soon as class is over tomorrow, you can go into Canvas and start it if you want to right then, or you can wait, start it later. How's everybody else? You guys out there? Anybody have questions? I'm gonna head out.
but I got to remark, I like the game bingo. I had an opportunity to interact with some of my classmates, and that was awesome.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes, I gotta get used to incorporating more of that more often, but it's not easy in this environment. Yeah, thank you though, Linnell. I was hoping that would be good. All right, I'm gonna head out, guys, if nobody has questions. So I'll see you guys later.
Thank you. Have a good day.